Dudes and dudettes, how are you guys? This is Chazzy and welcome back to What's the Damage, the segment on this channel where I can unleash all of my inner rage and anger and sadness and sorrow, all of the negative emotions that a human being can feel. That's probably not my intro, but it's been a while since I've done WTD question marks, so I kind of forgot about certain details, But I'm wearing my custom made, Harley Davidson motorcycle shirt today. I love this shirt so much, man. It's kind of like the cross between blue and green that I have, I was gonna put on a hoodie, but it's not that cold right now, so I figured, it's kind of unnecessary, let's just do the thing with the stuff here. But anyway, guys, so if you've been around my channel, if you've been subscribed for a while, maybe you caught this video here, where this was like maybe a year or so ago, maybe more, where I talked about catfishing and how it's even still a thing, how people are so dumb, they fall into catfishing traps today, even though I would personally think it would be kind of hard to do. And consider this video here as sort of like a spiritual successor, an indirect sequel, because I'm going to be talking about something that I personally dub as the social media mask, right? Which is essentially this mask that people put on when they go on social media, and they essentially transform into somebody else that we would not recognize in real life. And this actually has a lot of different implementations to it, and it actually scares me because we are living in a world that is very, very topsy-turvy, everything is upside down. What used to be left is now right, what used to be up is now down, and so on and so on, It's just like everything seems so confusing and lost, because we have now a very much more open world than we did maybe a decade or even so ago. Like, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago the world was different, and today it's pretty much the exact opposite. Now, I'm going to try to explain what I'm talking about but at the same time being very careful not to offend anybody, which is kind of hard to do, because if you watched this recent short that I did, I think it's very easy to offend people today. So basically, the world is very, very colorful, right? We have a lot of members of the LGBT and transgender community, so it's getting to a point where you really can't tell who is gay and who is straight, and you can't tell who is who are men and women, there's like everything is all over the place. So the social media has become a way for people to exploit that much more, like if you happen to be, I'm not really sure how this works, if you're a transgender woman or a man, I don't know what that makes each one, but if you did the sex change, if you identify more with the opposite sex and you do the surgery, that's fine, that's on you, do whatever the hell you want. But I think that when you try to trick people into thinking that you're the other one without making clear that you are trans, I think that's where the social media mask starts to take effect, because when you do the sex change, obviously your intention is to, well, change the sex, right? But there are people who are sort of not necessarily against it, they're just a little uncomfortable with it, like a man might not want to have relations with a woman that used to be a man, or vice versa, maybe a woman is a little uncomfortable with a man who used to be a woman before the sex change, so it's fine, man. You can't just shove your sex change down everyone's throats and expect everybody to accept it, there are people who don't like it. And social media has made it so much easier for the transgender community to essentially literally become the opposite sex in all sense of the word, and I have actually seen this play out myself, back when I still used certain dating apps like Tinder or Facebook dating. I actually came across women who I thought were attractive, and I later discovered that they were actually transgender men, which makes me uncomfortable because I'm a heterosexual man myself, so I will never have a relationship with a transgender person. I'm sorry if that offends you, but at the same time that I'm sorry, I don't care, I'm just voicing my opinion here. I'm not obligated to be comfortable with it, if you want to do the sex change, go ahead, it's your problem, but I prefer to date biological women, that's just me. Go find somebody who thinks different and go date them, but I have had experiences where I have actually matched with with these transgender people. Some of them come out and say, look, I'm trans, is that okay with you? I'm like, no, and they're like, okay, no, that's cool, I'm sorry now, I'm sorry too, have a nice day. There have been more pleasant conversations than unpleasant ones, There have been times where I found out later that the person was trans, and then I, just unmatched or blocked them or whatever, and they still tried to hit on me. But still, I could go on to say that my experiences have always been positive, I haven't had any issues with that, and that's kind of how it is. But social media is starting to become worse and worse and worse because people don't even say anymore that they did the surgery, right? It's getting to a point where a man goes through the surgery, becomes a trans woman, and then he's like, yeah, I was born this way. I was born a woman, which is obviously a bold-faced lie. This is where the mask comes in. Social media makes people out to be much more confident liars than in real life, you know, which really scares me, you know? The concept of somebody so easily pretending to be somebody else just to bait somebody to do their will, you know, for nefarious deeds, I think is really, really, really scary. But this confidence also leads to a different kind of attitude that I also don't approve of. Overconfidence provided through social media gives people the opportunity to be much more douchey, you know. I did talk about this in another video a little bit more recently, which was the rise of internet trolls, you know. I'm kind of pulling a little bit from that too to emphasize my point here. Internet trolls in general are people who just want to cause, you know, shame and misfortune onto others, you know. They want to ruin their day, and I am kind of immune to that, you know, because I used to be one. I think that video isn't even called The Rise of Internet Trolls. I think it's called My Days as an Internet Troll, My Past as One, you know, something like that, because I used to be a troll back in the day and I know what it's like. I did something very bad back in high school, you know, to several girls in my school that involved me creating a fake MySpace profile and just, you know, antagonizing them. So I know what it's like to have much more confidence behind a computer screen than in real life, you know, mostly because they never knew that it was me, you know. Eventually they found out, of course, you know, but that's maybe a topic for another video. It's quite possibly the most embarrassing thing I've ever done, you know. I think it's so embarrassing that I might not even cover it on YouTube, but who knows, if I start to run out of ideas, maybe I'll throw that in there somewhere. But the point is that there are people who feel much more confident to talk smack, you know, online, whether it's through social media or a YouTube video than actually in real life, you know. And it's kind of weird because it's almost like turning on this camera if you're a YouTuber, or, you know, picking up a phone and getting on Twitter if you're just a random troll, you know. It seems like this emboldens the person more, you know. It makes them much more bold. It makes them feel like they can just, you know, tackle any issue, and they can have a conflict with any person, you know. But then in real life, they're the opposite, you know. They're just a coward, you know, because the more you criticize and attack people on social media, the more of a coward you become in real life, you know. Very rare are the people who can actually, very rare are the people who can actually instigate a fight online and have the balls to back it up in real life, you know. And sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes the person is tough in real life, but on social media they're shy, they're introverted, they don't interact very well, you know, and anything in between that. So when you put on that social media mask, it's almost like it gives you more confidence to be outspoken, you know. I'm actually a good example of that. Don't know if you guys are going to interpret this as positive or negative, but I have a very different personality here on YouTube compared to myself in real life, you know. Outside of YouTube, I am a lot less outspoken depending on the place or the context, you know. I live by myself and I'm usually very quiet around my house. When I'm at home, I'm kind of introverted. I want to be left alone. I've been hanging out with people less and less lately because I'm just getting I'm sort of intentionally outcasting myself because the world out there is just a raging ball of butthurtness and oversensitivity, and anything that I say can and will be used against me, you know. We live in an era where you can be sued and taken to court just for calling somebody the color of their skin or something, you know. So I am becoming much more introverted, you know. So I like to spend my days relaxing, doing chores, having tea and watching TV, you know. But on YouTube, when I turn this camera on, I become something else, you know. But it's different. My idea is to entertain and inform my subscribers, you know, give you guys some decent content, or sometimes pour out my heart and soul here to you guys. So, but there are people who do it more nefariously. There are people who online through social media or a YouTube channel, they become much more emboldened to be raunchy, you know, to be a very to use very inappropriate language and bash people who didn't do anything with them, or criticize others, you know, or try to, you know, bring someone down. Nobody can ever, you know, how can I explain this? I saw this quote somewhere. I just can't remember exactly what it was like. Basically, nobody can ever grow by diminishing someone else, you know? Like, if you keep bashing on other people, hoping that it's going to grow yourself, even if you become popular, it's still going to affect your growth as a person, you know? That's what is like the downside of social media today, you know? It used to be cool, man. Back in the day, it used to be just a way for you to talk to your friends or post cool stuff online for other people to laugh or inform them, you know? But lately, it's become so biased. Like, there are certain social media networks that I can barely use anymore, like Facebook, for example, that are just like, the only time you will ever see me getting on Facebook is to remind myself whose birthday it is this week, you know, close friends or relatives, you know, that's literally it. I don't use Facebook for anything else except occasionally checking on my team's profiles, you know, for the sports that I watch, you know, but I do that on Twitter and Instagram anyway. So in Instagram, I don't even post photos anymore. I just post stories, you know. It's getting complicated. The only social media that I really truly use constantly is YouTube, because aside from creating content on the daily, you know, I also consume a lot of it to get inspiration, you know. So I mean, that's pretty much it. Like, every social media platform is now a mask that you can put on that just is really uncomfortable, you know, especially TikTok, where there is a lot of people consuming it to watch shorts, and it's just really dumb. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just crazy. Every time you sign up for a new social media account, you're already putting on a mask and you don't even know it, you know? You become a different person on that platform as opposed to real life, and it starts to become a sickness, you know? It starts to, if you're too addicted to social media, then you are almost becoming a shadow of yourself in real life, you know? And eventually the sickness takes itself, you know, and it becomes a form of an addiction that, when you withdraw it, you can actually suffer, you know, physical and emotional damage. Hey, emotional damage, an unintentional Stephen He reference. You want some therapy? So that's what I think is happening lately with social media in general, you know, like I can still remember the day where I was still getting into Facebook back in like 2011, 2012, when it was still fun to use, you know. All I had were friends, and we would post on each other's timelines, you know, making jokes and stuff, keeping in touch, and, you know, slowly it started to build into this grotesque monstrosity with way too many ads and, you know, just inappropriate policies. It's just weird, man. Twitter used to be a fun place too, you know. Back in the day, you could do whatever, post whatever, say whatever, and now you have to be politically correct so your account doesn't get suspended or banned, you know. It's just crazy, man. You know, sometimes I kind of get, like, I get really sad, you know, like you can't do anything today anymore, you know, whether it's on social media or in real life. But social media is an opportunity for people to, you know, really expand their negativity, you know, because there is a quote that I saw on Twitter some years ago that I have mentioned in previous videos, and I will say it again. Be very careful what you post on social media, man. Be very careful, because on social media, you don't get justice, you get attention. And sometimes that attention is very unwanted and will make you think twice about ever posting anything again, you know? And it's really complex. Like, I have a very, very useful tool in my arsenal, which is just ignoring, you know? Like, I hit the imaginary ignore button in my brain, and whenever I see something that might lead to controversy, I completely ignore the person, you know? Even if it's a friend or a relative, you know, when we're having a conversation. I have a cousin who loves to instigate crap, you know, with me, you know. He's always trying to provoke these arguments that I don't like, and even though we've been close friends for over a decade, you know, lately I've just been ignoring him, you know. Like, whenever he tries to instigate an argument, I just don't reply, I don't answer, and that's what I do with everybody, you know. So, but of course, in more extreme cases, if the person isn't a close friend or family member, I would just outright block them completely, you know, because I don't have the patience, man. I'm too old for this crap. I'm like Danny Grover, you know, Danny Glover. Grover or Glover? Uh-oh, Mandela effect. Well, what's his last name? Well, that guy who did Predator 2 and a bunch of other movies, you know. There's this meme that he's too old for this crap, you know, and that's how I am. Like, I have bills to pay, man. I have chores to do. I have a house to clean. I have food to cook. I got dishes to wash. I have a YouTube channel to run. I have 3 different jobs. I don't have the time or the patience for people who are way too overly sensitive and butthurt, you know, especially on social media. When I get on social media, I want to look at the news. I want to see what's going on on the celebrities that I like, the sports teams that I follow, the new movies that are coming out, the games that I want to play. I want to post stuff, I want to share things. I don't want to get into arguments with kids, essentially, or immature adults who have the minds of children. I don't have the patience for that. I'm sorry. So, just to let you know, if you feel the need to come at me, on my channel here, just know that there's a very good chance that I will not even reply to you, and I'm sure you probably have very decent arguments, but I just don't have the patience for you. I'm sorry, and of course, you can't have a YouTube channel and not face negative criticism. There will always be haters, but I don't know, man. You can hate on me if you want, just don't be a butthurt hater, please. And don't be a motorcycle bastard doing this in the background of my damn videos, man, right at the end too. But anyway, I don't know what else I can say, man. Social media has emboldened people way too much, People are way too overly confident now to say whatever they want to say and get offended with everything they want to get offended with, It's just so damn annoying. And it's crazy, man. It's crazy how people just transform completely. It's really, really sad and pathetic. But I think I've covered this topic enough. I've been recording for almost 17 minutes now. Wow, that has a nice breeze out there, but I hope it doesn't rain because I still have more videos to do. The weather sucks lately. That's why the lighting is all kind of whack. But anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap this up here. So let me know in the comments below what you think. If you agree, disagree, anything you want to say, go ahead. But if you're gonna come at me with some overly sensitive comment about how something in the video offended you, like my shirt or the lighting or the background or the way that I breathe or whatever, don't be one of those people. But either way, if you happen to like this video, please go ahead and give it a like, and also subscribe to my channel because I release videos every single day. And while you're at it, hit the notification bell too, so you can know exactly what time I upload. My beard is itching, man. I gotta freaking shave this thing. This is Chazzy signing out for now, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Roll the unmasked outro screen.